I think obviously you're asking them out there, they're going to pick a team. I maybe ever so slightly would lean towards Chicken Fighters. I think they just look a bit more versatile. And I think maybe just have been a bit more impressive with some of their upsets. But even that's hard to say. Both teams have been incredible.
Well, one storyline here will be our Storm Spirit. Boom, he had an incredible showing to knock out Secret in that game 2. I think 18-1-11 on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
Storm, though, not a very high success rate hero this tournament. Blitz is always crying about how many nerfs he's gotten, how weak the hero is. Probably explains his pub win rate nowadays.
That's good for him. I mean, Storm's going to see some buffs soon. You got to, like, I think 2 of my most played heroes both unpicked in this tournament. That's how bad they are, LD. And I'm like, this is great. They're going to get buffed, and then my MMR is going to go up, right?
What are your top 2? I know it's one of them's Clinks.
Clinks and Visage.
Still Visage.
Both heroes unpicked here in ESL One.
Visage in 2020.
Yeah, you know, I'm living in the past, much like the viewers who are excited that we're casting this game. They're the viewers who are still living in the past.
Well, these teams are the future, though.
Yes.
We've got some up-and-comers in Europe. So you've got the old washed-up casters and the hot kids on the block. It's an interesting combination. We'll see how it works out.
The boomers casting the zoomers.
Yeah. Well, it's a phenomenon happening around the world. You know,
Yep.
the boomers are being forced to enjoy some zoomer entertainment pretty much everywhere. You know, there's no more NASCAR. They're watching virtual NASCAR. There's literally no difference. Just a bunch of cars going around in a circle for 500 laps. Except real people don't die, so that's good.
That sounds like an upgrade, if anything. You know,
I mean,
sounds like something that should take off.
I mean, NASCAR is like it's like a blood sport.
Yeah.
I think you know, I think a lot of the fans actually want to see the horrifying.
They're waiting for those. Yeah.
That's half the fun. Well, if you can call it that.
And Dota, similar thing. You know, there's a lot of blood and gore, but it's all virtual. So we're gonna see who's gonna be sent home. Maybe there's some real. The tears are real.
Some real tears.
Yeah.
There's some. Sometimes computers get smashed. You know, monitors destroyed, keyboards damaged.
Yes.
But you know, hopefully people don't die.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the game now. So we've got Supreme mid on the Monkey King, going to be laning against Boom. Generally, Storm does pretty well against melee heroes, but Monkey King, one of those that can be tough because has, in my experience playing this matchup, which admittedly is at a low rank, but like you can usually get your Jingu off because the Storm has a relatively low attack range. So
yeah.
we'll see how it works out.
I think Storm, particularly early levels, will do fine. He's got very high base armor, which is the nice thing about the Storm in this matchup. So even if you're giving away the Jingu stacks, this Jingu at level 1 doesn't necessarily threaten you too much. My issue is both teams, I think their offlanes are going to struggle a lot. We're seeing Toby get completely zoned out and chased away by 2 supports. Similarly, Bristle, we've seen this hero kind of look really good with the Coddle, but they then picked a Sven as their safe laner. So this Bristle is going to be kind of sacrificed to the Viking GG gods, as Lycan should have absolute free farm down in the bottom lane against this solo Bristle.
Yeah, Tusk making his appearance. Didn't see him much yesterday, but this guy has been doing work in the group stage, and with the early boots, he is going to almost bully Toby out of the lane entirely. That is a great start for him.
This is a level 1 Timbersaw. Really rough time. The Earthshaker was meant to secure the offlane with the Fissure, but I mean, he did Fissure block one way, but it just hasn't worked out for him, and now he's in some trouble. The tag team being countered by some nice body blocks from Toby.
Yeah, Era just 1v2ing the enemy lane at this point.
Yeah. Shaker's got 4 last hits, Timbersaw with just 2, so I believe he's just been fissured, last hitting some range creeps probably, or even melee creeps at this point. You take whatever form you can get, but I'm sure Toby's telling Shaker, like, if I get some creeps near my tower, don't touch my XP. I need every bit of XP I can get right now. He only just hits
starting with the chain at level 1 really can set you back in terms of trading.
I think you kind of have to against Timbersaw tag team, unfortunately. You just die even with reactive armor giving you a little buff, so it's just a situation where you need to somehow get levels with the Shaker, and it's not easy to do so. But Chicken Fighters are committing 3 heroes. That's what you have to keep in mind. And I'm sure Toby's, you know, he's like, okay, my game's going to suck, but they've got 3 heroes up here, and we're actually threatening to maybe kill some supports here. So Nico,
oh, he's going to lose the salve, some economic damage done, and now Toby looking to just get that precious XP, so Aramis will walk away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Supreme with the Mischief dodge. Now chasing on to Boom. Might be able to get the kill here. The Jingu stack is still up. He's actually tanked the tower shots. He's going to feed Boom instead. Oh, overextended.
Wow, we have this Mercedes-Benz MVP, and Boom, I know, is one we're talking about a lot. The fan favorites, the Sumail's Miracles, getting a lot of votes, but I feel like, you know, you got to show some respect to Boom. He has been crushing it all tournament long.
Yeah, that was a little over-aggressive by Monkey King. could have just done the harass and then backed off, but
Yeah.
instead, boom, level 5. So gifted an early good start. Something you definitely need as Storm.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy. And both bottom and mid lane now going Vikings' way. So this is where you're particularly telling Toby, like, don't worry if your game's going really poorly. These other lanes are going well for us. As long as Timbersaw gets some levels, like, just he's got that Whirling Death to kind of threaten the Sven, the Bristleback. There's 3 strength heroes on the Chicken Fighter's side that can be threatened by that. There's the Chakram.
They've sent 3 heroes to try and secure this Arcane Rune, and in the end, Celery is going to have to just take it himself.
He really tried to not take it with those body blocks, but unfortunately for Boom, he will not get to, I believe, bottle that one back up. Yeah, he does have the bottle.
Yeah, definitely the downside to running the tri-lane and committing so much just to secure this is you don't have those free heroes to go support mid.
Yep.
And it seems like Supreme may need the help as he is now falling pretty far behind in terms of CS.
Yep. I'd like to see Storm go try grab one of those 5-minute bounty runes to refill his bottle. I think that'll give him like a... He needs it to just continue his lane dominance. And then any time that Shaker rotates in mid, he has a real big kill threat. But it does seem like Chicken Fighters know this. They are rotating to try and secure bounty runes. Meanwhile, Bristle, wave cutting, trying to take some creep waves. Realizes he can't lane against this Lycan, so he's just gone elsewhere.
Actually going to send Toby down to bottom now as our Storm engaging on Supreme.
Yeah, he didn't go for any bounty runes. He's trying to hit level 6. And if he gets level 6, he can go for some kills here.
Yeah, definitely Monkey King killable at this stage at half health with Storm having a decent amount of mana. He's going to clarity up.
And he's got the enemy bounties. This is even better.
Yeah, pushes the lane in, and Supreme is afraid of being dove. He doesn't have any vision right now, God, so he has no clue what's going on. It's actually safe for him, but he doesn't realize
in trouble. Nice Shaker TP. If he gets this kill, it's definitely worth it. Bristle getting a lot of farm and XP. Won't get that last creep wave, but Storm with a double bounty rune, so he's going to be full health, full mana now, and Monkey King's got to play very cautiously mid.
This is a big concern. Looking at this Chicken Fighters draft, they do have a Sven. You know, that's the one hero they can catch up and kind of scale pretty well, but you're on heroes like Monkey King, Tusk, Keeper, you want to win your lanes, and that's not happening.
Yeah, Keeper is getting some stacks going, as you generally do when you're playing that 5 position with a Bristle or Sven or whatever it may be, but here goes the Storm.
Lightning in. Boom, he's committed pretty much all of his mana here, but in comes the big bad wolf, Shad, to assist, and that will secure not only the kill, but likely a tower as well.
They're targeting Supreme with the tips and the ganks.
Is he the tilter?
That seems to be what they think. I think he is friends with the guy. I think we were talking to one of the players, Boom, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm playing against one of my Czech friends, so I believe they know each other. They've played Dota in pubs all the time against each other. So I think it's more friendly than anything."
Sometimes your friends, you learn a little more about them, and then you turn that information against them. So
Absolutely.
The mafia plays.
Yeah, both Supreme and Saberlight, the 2 Czech players on the Chicken Fighters team that Boom was talking about. So I think he feels some respect, and he obviously is happy to see his Czech brothers doing well in this tournament at the same time as him.
Bottom lane, they're going to find Saberlight. Boom getting very active early, and with the support of Celery, should be able to secure this kill. Indeed, he does. He's on a spree. He is 1k up on the enemy Monkey King, who still is waiting to buy his boots.
Man, Boom is not being very friendly towards his fellow Czechs. First the mid lane, now he comes down and kills Supreme as well.
All they want to do is hit stacks. Charlie's chilling in the jungle. Bristle's probably going to do the same. But they are forfeiting potentially some map control here for that 1 tier 1 mid. Already claimed, and now starting to apply the pressure bottom. Though without Shad, it won't be a very fast push. And here comes the TP by Saberlight. Wants to defend this tower. They don't want to give up too much position just yet.
Yeah, you don't want to give up those early towers when you're playing a game where you're trying to farm a lot of jungle, a lot of stacks. Gen does lose the Golem creep, but I think Celery's looking to upgrade and find some more useful ones. As it seems like they want to try give Toby a lane. He's only level 5, and his level is going to be very important this game as far as having a strong mid game goes. He's the answer to the Bristleback for sure, and even the Sven to a large extent. And
it's the beauty of the Lycan. He can just rotate to the jungle, take the more aggressive farm, and always have a way out. As we see a ball lightning in on mid. Mischief was used, but dodge the ult damage.
Lost
but
a
still,
lot of mana.
I don't know. He's pretty low on mana indeed. Out comes a big stun from Aramis. The 3-hero fissure. Looked like Supreme might be able to get them with the Boundless Strike, but now they freed up Shad. charging forward. Good salve, hops away to the trees, and Supreme will survive. Charlie came in at a critical moment there. They get the storm kill. Now they're chasing for Aramis. They have the Jingu stacks up. Do they have another stun? Everyone in pursuit, and everyone very slow. A 2-hero enchant totem. Finally, they get the stun, the Stormbolt off. The follow-up Boundless, they secure a secondary kill. While that's happening, a push by Viking towards bottom, but Saberlight is fending that off.
Yeah, this is nice about the Bristle. He can just solo defend this tower, and a bit too aggressive from the Storm Spirit there. He thought he had those kills, but the backup from the Lycan, I think Lycan was trying to farm the stacks while the Storm went to go for the kill, so they were just slightly on a different page there. But ultimately, Chicken Fight is ready to counterplay it.
I believe he mischief dodged the ball lightning damage.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think had that hit, it would have just burst in before that turnaround happens.
Yeah, I didn't see too closely. There's that, 0.2-second window. And if you dodge a big chunk of damage like that, the turnaround potential is definitely there.
So Boom gets slowed down a bit. He was on a killing spree. He'll be working towards the Kaya now as we do see Saberlight caught out, and the Bristle continues to struggle. You mentioned the Timber countering their lineup, and Bristle sitting at 2,200 net worth. He's barely where the Chen is. He was the off lane, you know, but with the mid also having a bad time, it just puts so much pressure on this Sven of Charlie's.
This is a great read. I think they realized he was trying to sneak the outpost with 10 minutes coming up, and Radiant Viking end up getting both outposts and should get, it looks like 3 of the bounty runes, so they're going to be in a nice position. They've got more map control, so generally the team that's kind of pressing forward and pressuring towers is the ones that can control the outposts and runes better. Boom's already come online early game on his Storm Spirit, able to get very aggressive around the map. And a big part of that is he's playing this mid lane against a Monkey King who's not grabbing these runes. So Storm with early runes can have a big impact around the map.
Top lane, Boom is setting up on Saberlight, pulls him in, has the follow-up Remnant as well, balling off to the left.
He's
Gets blinding lighted back, but the chase continues. Fissure, a follow-up Remnant. He might actually get Soneko, a 2 for the price of 1, perhaps in the offing for Boom. One more Remnant, not quite enough for the kill. He'll hit the tower.
Stop blocking the Lycan.
He'll leave this for the Wolves, and the army will bring him down.
Yeah.
No rotation.
They're using this Chen really well. They're able to just pull in that +1 hero. It's like, okay, a Chen Storm gank, they should be able to, maybe if they commit everything, kill the Bristle, but it puts them in a dangerous spot. But just by pulling in the Shaker, they make it a very reliable gank, allows them to get the second kill. Lycan rotates in as well to secure the tower, so really good coordinated moves coming from Viking. They just understand so well how to play with Lycan and kind of turn these ganks into towers as well. They really just snowball these games whenever they have Lycan, it feels like.
Well, snowball feels like the right word. We've got 2 smokes in Aramis's inventory. You have to imagine they're looking for follow-up kills to go with these wards they've placed, the towers they've taken. See Chicken Fighters all just trying to defend their woods, but the Wolves can scout them out. And all the while, Sven farming. So I think it's a good time to discuss, Gods, like how hard can Sven carry this game? Is this a great Sven game? They are putting pretty much all their eggs in the Sven basket.
It's a very good Sven game. This hero is not seeing much play, though, with good reason. And heroes like, you know, even with like a meta where Lycan is one of the kind of top meta, cheesy kind of carry picks, Sven is not being used as a counter just because this hero has been struggling. It takes a lot of farm to come online. You often get kited. And there are heroes like Timbersaw that can make your game hard. Insta-stuns like the Shaker, the control that makes your game very difficult. So it's a good Sven game, but it's a hard hero to play and execute, I would say.
He did grab an Invis rune. Wants to make a play for his team. Unfortunately, there is a Radiant.
Yeah, and they saw him pick it up, so it shouldn't lead to a whole lot, but we'll see.
Squad rotating. Yeah, they are hanging out in the area like they might expect this gank to happen.
Yeah, Toby's the perfect target to tank this. He's got the
24
frost
reactive armor with an ice armor. That is not your ideal target.
Celery,
though,
armor.
That's a juicier takedown. If Charlie can find the Stormbolt, he's diving for this, and he's actually just going to gank the creeps instead. They get stomped by the Centaur. TP's coming in. He might get punished for this. Charlie, so desperate to make something happen. Can they get him out safely? There's a ball lightning forward. Boom's going to commit onto Soneko. They do drop the Ignis to try and cover this retreat. Soneko charges forward, says, take me, and leave my teammates alone. Supreme does manage to get a Jingu off during this, but they've now lost Soneko. He died to a neutral creep, so that's a small benefit to Chicken Fighters, but they lose the Monkey King again. The Sven now back to the jungle, and it's just Q to go for a tier 2 or maybe a Charlie kill. They're diving into the Ancients.
They're just out-rotating. Chen pull in is helping them just play more lanes and then bring in that core hero who's missing. The Storm is one of the heroes that utilizes the Chen better than I think any other core, because you can just use up all your mana, TP home, then Chen pulls you back in to the fight. So really well executed from Viking. They completely understood that the Sven might be down there. They kited around him. They used the ice armor perfectly. Really good play from Viking.
Already a Necro 3. Shad still out farming the Sven, despite him having pretty much nothing but stacks.
The hard part for Sven's game is you're going to have to get a BKB very early to even be able to fight into this Lycan Necro and Wolves and things. You just can't fight without this BKB, but then if you go BKB too early, your transition to late game sees you playing around a 5-second BKB, and you're just going to get kited because you've got such a short duration BKB.
They're going to find Seneko again. It's Boom on the move, dominating 7-1-1. And it really feels like he has just set everything up for the team with the assistance of the supports getting in the runes. That one kill on the Monkey King mid. I mean, it's led to Monkey King being a total non-factor. And you combine that with the Bristle deaths, and it's just all about the Sven. It just doesn't feel like Chicken Fighters can really play as a team.
Yep.
Even though you look at their lineup and like they won a team fight. They've got Wukong's command, they have the Will-O-Wisp, you know, decent AoE as well from Sven, but they're just not in any position to do so.
Yeah, after day one of group stage when we saw Viking, we were just like, yeah, you don't give this team Lycan. They're too good with it. They had it in their early series today against Secret, who prepared perfectly for it. They had the aggressive trial and they shut down his early game, and they still ended up losing to it despite a fantastic start. So Viking with Lycan, they just look almost unstoppable.
Committed dive here on Supreme, who does get off the boundless, but they're still chasing him. Dive him into the trees. Boom will bring him down, and now he dives onto Seneko, finds that kill as well. Beautiful fissure indeed. Make it 3 with Era. Easy. And now a tier 2 to follow.
The Storm with the Lycan just feels like a great hero pairing, because something Lycan sometimes struggles for is just that catch, like where you go for that Helm of the Dominator Centaur to chase people down, but Storm is just giving them this really long-range initiation, and then Lycan, super mobile hero himself with the Shapeshift, able to keep up with the Storm Spirit. So you've got two heroes that are ultra mobile and fast to kind of back each other up when they go for these long, deep dives on the back line.
Well, Charlie is going for the BKB. You mentioned, obviously, downside of the cooldown, but he wants to be able to fight.
He's got to.
Can the team fight with him? That's my concern, because I just see a Monkey King with phase boots and a Wraith Band, and a Bristle who isn't tanky versus this Viking lineup. Like, how are they going to fight? We'll see.
Well, he doesn't even have his Vanguard. That's a big problem. He needs to hit his BKB timing, and hopefully those cores have their Echo Saber and Vanguard.
Moving on to Celery now. Snowball forward. They do look for this pickoff, and while that's happening, Supreme dueling with Aramis. We do see Boom chasing Saberlight in mid, and he's just going to solo kill the Bristle. So it's a 1-for-1. Even when they get a kill, it's just nothing special.
Yeah, cleaning up the Chen army. This will slow Viking down. Chen will respawn and have to kind of repopulate his creeps. And for Viking, it's some breathing room. I think these small pickoffs, even when they're at support, they make a big difference as far as just giving them some time to get these items. Because right now, all three of their cores are playing a little bit behind.
Well, you can't get the items if you're dying to Storm, though. So they've got to combine the ganks with the other players playing safe. Hard, though, against the Storm, you know? Like, when he gets ahead, nowhere is really safe if they have vision, and they do have pretty good Radiant Vision right now.
You just feel like you can never farm any lane on the map, too.
Here we go. Another big ball lightning. Straight onto Supreme, and boom! Another solo kill, though it was set up by a great ward placement.
And the Chen creeps, I guess, that were dueling him? Oh, it was just the ward. Okay.
And now straight into Roche. Like you said, they know how to use the Lycan. Get a kill, take an objective.
Yeah. So nice for Viking. They just have this complete map control, the deep vision, the Chen creeps, the Lycan wolves to scout, and this will be an uncontested. Even without that pickoff, it was going to be an uncontested Roche. I think if anything, for Chicken Fighters, you're like, oh, they're Roshing. We have a minute to farm. Like, this is breathing space, because you get to all come bottom, help farm up the Sven's BKB while sitting behind him a bit.
He's scared to even hit the tower right now, though. They just showed 5. Well, you know they're all Roche, and he backs off.
I think that's the danger of the Storm. The second Roche is claimed, like, it doesn't matter if they're on the other side of the map. They can quickly TP in one, Storm ball across half the map. There's just so many ways to threaten to kill you if you get too greedy going for that bottom lane.
Yeah, something else that I just noticed is Supreme did opt to max the Boundless and the Jingu, so he's only got the 1 point in Tree Dance, which means
wow.
you farm really slowly as Monkey King. So trying
Yeah.
to catch back, like this build is all about fighting early, snowballing with this skill build, and he's just not gonna be able to do that. So
That's
puts
really,
him even more in the hole.
Yeah, really good point to bring up, because generally you see, I think, most mid Monkey Kings getting more points in the Primal Spring to just quickly farm and clear away. Perhaps he doesn't think it's safe to do so against Storm. I imagine that's his reasoning behind it, but usually it's like you just quickly jump on a wave, jump back to a tree, and Boundless Strike, and you can insta-clear creep waves.
Well, Era is going to get instantly cleared out by Viking as they find him, breaks the smoke, and tanks the gank, but in doing so, we do now see a completed Bloodstone on Storm, our Lycan with the Dominator, the Necro 3, and soon the AC. These items are like we could end the game at 23 minutes items.
Yeah, they're ready to go high ground, I imagine, with the first Aegis. Often you see these fast-paced teams wait maybe for a second Roche, but...
Saberlight, he's going to die to the same ward that caught him out earlier. It looks like Aramis is here. He's a bit tankier with the completed Vanguard, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. They do have backup. Still chasing forward. Boom. Not going to commit just yet for this. Just a little bit of kiting. Zips away to the high ground. Now, starting to work on Charlie, who does end up just stunning Chen creeps, and now they move forward. The Echo Slam onto Saberlight, bringing him low. Aramis not finishing him off. The Wukong's command dropped on the Shaker Wall. On the other side of the fight, Seneko tries to run. Charlie looking to deal with these Chen creeps still. The Will-O-Wisp to protect him. The uppercut sends Era packing
Charlie's
back to
being
the fountain,
kited,
and
though.
still Saberlight staying alive, getting the quills up. But Charlie, can he do the damage? Pulled back in. Now the Lycan chewing through him, chewing through his armor, but not finishing him off just yet. The Fissure secures it. 4 dead just like that. It looked like maybe it was an opportunity with the amount of time that Bristle was able to survive Gods, but in the end, they just don't have the damage.
The team fight was a bit too disjointed for Chicken Flies. I think they want everyone clumped up a bit more for that Cuddle Will-O-Wisp. It felt like the Bristle was on one side with the Monkey King ultimate, and then the Cuddle ultimate was somewhere separate. It is hard. You don't want to group up too much against an Earthshaker, but they just don't have the damage unless they're all focusing the same target.
This was a buyback by Saberlight, and it looks like it might be a dieback. He's tanking the whole team. Do they commit? Toby chaining forward, slams him back into the well, out for 70 seconds. Boom, still sitting on an Aegis and the Bloodstone, now up to 18 charges. They'll take the melee, and he'll get back to safety. So Viking, a clean take of a full lane, now up 13,000 gold. And I don't think those odds are nearly bleak enough to reflect the state of this game. I would put it more at like 8-1.
I would agree with you, LD. This game quickly took a turn for the worse for Chicken Flies. Even before losing that Rex, it was getting quickly out of hand. See that, the Sven, very early BKB timing, but that to me is a bad sign. You don't want your Sven to be getting a BKB timing ahead of the average, because that just says that the game is going poorly anytime you feel like you have to rush a BKB. It means there's just something that's slightly off about the game, and it wasn't a perfect Sven game if you have to rush a BKB.
Like you said, we'll have another look at this fight, and the notable thing is Seneko, he's using Will-O-Wisp on the far right side while you've got a Wukong's command coming out on the far left. So just not able to combo their abilities, and Aramis just walks out of it.
He got jumped by the Monkey King and Bristle. 2 cores going to Earthshaker, and he instantly echoes them to survive. Like, he's not even using Echo to kill. He's just stalling out the fight, and he knows he keeps these 2 heroes locked down. His team's playing a 4v3 against like supports and a Sven. It was actually such a good team fight for Aramis.
And Monkey King was not even in that fight. Like, you want that hero to be hitting constantly. He basically dropped Wukong's command, Shaker walks away, and he just starts hopping through the trees. That is not how the hero is meant to be played, but nothing you could do when you're this far behind.
Nope, 21-4 as Viking look to get a second lane of Rax here. They still got Aegis, but not for a whole lot longer. With a regen rune on Storm, he's tempting fate on the high ground, but that regen about to wear off.
There's a little swagger in Boom step at the moment.
Yep.
I don't think anyone could blame him.
Right, rightfully so with his tournament. 18 charges, almost Orchid completed. And Toby, you wouldn't believe this guy had a rough landing stage with the net worth and items he's got. It's a very impactful Monkey King. It's the Bristle and Monkey King on the other side who are struggling against the Timbersaw, who's...
Big smoke timing. They know Aegis would have just expired, and they're trying to make a play. Chicken Fighters pushing through the river. Now, Celery there to break it on the Chen.
This needs to work, LD. They need to win a fight.
Well, it's not going to help matters that Era's been scouted out here. Celery, he's the one they're going to jump on first. The Chen is not really a big enough kill. And Seneko on the other side of the fight, he gets instantly comboed and blown up. They're not going to have the Will-O-Wisp for this. Charlie with the BKB. Can they lock down? Boom. Can they even get any sort of kills here? They just lose the Monkey King, the Tusk, the Keeper buyback, so he's not really in this fight. And now as the BKB ends, the pain begins. Echo Slam coming through, jamming them down, back into the grave. We might just see a GG. We do. They got thrashed. They end up only getting the Chen kill.
Yeah, perfect way to end the game. You know, you get that great fissure into Centaur stun, into Echo Slam. You know, that's like a feel